What's up, guys? Welcome back to the UFC arena. Today we are not talking about a UFC card, but we are talking about a former UFC fighter in Tyron Woodley, and he's going up against Jake Paul. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say this is a close fight. I don't see this as a landslide victory in any direction. I am not one of those people who underestimate Jake Paul just because he's a YouTuber. Secondly, I will say this is Jake Paul's toughest fight yet. Tyron Woodley is a legitimate fighter. Thirdly, for those who are acting as though Tyron Woodley, because he had a powerful right hand, was this elite striker in the UFC, he was not. He never was an elite striker in the UFC. He was a wrestler who mixed his striking in really well, and he had a lot of power, knockout power. But let's not act like he's Anderson Silva or he's Israel Adesanya or he's Edson Barbosa or anything like that. Let's not get crazy, okay? As far as striking goes in the UFC, Tyron Woodley is not on the Mount Rushmore. So it's not as though Tyron Woodley is going up against this elite championship level boxer. No, both of these guys are okay boxers. So in many ways, I do like this matchup, and I do think it's a good tester to see where Jake Paul is at and to see where Tyron Woodley is at now at this stage of his life. A lot of people can't get over the fact that Jake Paul is a YouTuber and he used to be on Disney, and they get so caught up in that, whereas they act like he can't fight. Jake Paul should be treated as any other amateur boxer that is taking his craft seriously. At this point, Jake Paul has trained for years and he's continuously improving. We could see that from his first fight versus Gibb to his second fight versus Nate Robinson to his third fight versus Ben Askren. Now, Jake Paul might not have had the perfect technique in all of these fights, but what you cannot say is he isn't taking boxing seriously. You could see in each of his fights that he is serious about his craft. So get rid of all the bravado, get rid of all the antics, and just look at the person. Jake Paul is someone who's taking boxing very seriously. The difference between Tyron Woodley and all Jake Paul's past opponents is Tyron Woodley has been in firefights with people on the feet. He's not afraid to stand with some of the most dangerous strikers. And of everyone that Jake Paul has fought, he would be the least intimidated by Jake Paul's striking ability. Woodley is also going to be the best striker that Jake Paul has faced thus far. Not the best striker in the UFC, but the best striker that Jake Paul has faced thus far. And he does still carry power. He is still dangerous. Tyron Woodley has always kept himself in elite shape. He's never been fat. He's never been out of shape. He's always taken very good care of himself, which I think will play a factor in this fight. What do I think when I look at the X's and O's of the actual fight? Tyron Woodley, striking wise, boxing wise, he has a big right hand, and that's pretty much his primary weapon and his most dangerous weapon. In the UFC, he landed a lot of powerful shots with his right hand by blitzing his opponent, by running across the octagon and blitzing them, and he's very quick. However, that may not be as beneficial to him in boxing, where his opponent is not worried about the takedown. His opponent is solely worried about his hands, and therefore I think that leaves him more open to getting countered by someone like Jake Paul. I think that he's experienced enough and well trained enough that he would alter his style accordingly. Honestly, when this fight was first announced and I heard, okay, Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul, I'm like, oh my goodness, they managed to get another person who is not a striker to fight Jake Paul, and if he wins, they're gonna act like, oh, I beat this fighter, when Tyron Woodley is not a striker. That's my gut feeling, that's my first impression, and I still think that. However, I am not underestimating Woodley, but what I do think is that Jake Paul has been training solely boxing and focused on boxing for the last 3, maybe 4 years, whereas Tyron Woodley has not been. And that, in my opinion, gives Jake Paul the edge in boxing. We talk a lot about Woodley's right hand, but Jake Paul also has a very good right hand, and he has good knockout power as well. That knockout of Ben Askren and that knockout of Nate Robinson, that was some serious power that Jake Paul was packing. Jake Paul is also a bigger man, he's a taller man with a longer reach, and if he could catch you on the end of his punches, he does pack quite a punch. So don't be surprised if he is able to drop Woodley as well. Woodley can drop Jake, but Jake can't drop Woodley. So basically, when I look at this for what it is, and I take Jake's training into consideration, and I take Woodley's pass into consideration, I have to give the slight edge to Jake Paul. I would say Jake Paul has a 55% chance of winning this fight, which would leave Tyron Woodley with a 45% chance of winning this fight. Now, I'm a UFC guy, so I'm definitely 100% supporting Tyron Woodley. I would love to see Tyron Woodley win this fight. I'm not a Jake Paul fan or a Jake Paul hater, but I support the UFC, so I would love to see Tyron Woodley win this fight. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope he wins, but if not, it's okay. Jake Paul is a legit boxer. He's training. A lot of people want to see him fight the best of the best. Oh, go and fight Canelo. Oh, why you don't go and fight Triple G or something? Like, chill. He's only had 3 fights. Like, you wouldn't take another amateur fighter. Well, you wouldn't take another professional boxer with only 3 fights if you didn't have a big name and then say, go fight Canelo. You're only doing that because it's Jake Paul. So relax. He's just another fighter, up and coming boxer. He's young. Give him some time. Who knows what he'll do in the future. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed my content, please remember to like, please remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime I drop a new video. Leave a comment down below. Tell me who you think is gonna win. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, and I'll see y'all in the next one.